How do they make them up? That's a good question.
How do they like names 4 and 5?
Oh, where the names come from?
And how did like divide and keep a draw?
Oh, I don't know that. Like I said, this comes from like the this we call the Arabic number system.
Oh,
So
the
they
people that are Arabic made it up?
yeah, they made up these symbols. You know why they chose this symbol? I don't know. But you know, for a long time they didn't have 0. We didn't have a 0. People didn't consider 0 a number.
Oh.
Well, actually, because then remember I was telling you about the Babylonian system where they had 60 digits, so they didn't have 0 on their digits. Because you know why? Because 0 they didn't think was a number, because 0 meant nothing. So how could you, if it's nothing, then how could you have something for it? Then it's something.
True.
Yeah. But that's why it was different.
That's kind of cool.
Is it?
Yeah.
You are very quick to pick up new ideas in math, and I think Mocha Dad kind of got frustrated with me, feeling like, you know, I'm just taking too long. Like, he'll jump right into our math process and be like, okay, it's time for you to do multiplication. Make sure she knows all her number facts, learning all the different place values and learning how to regroup and things like that. And he's like, oh yeah, while you do that, I'll just teach her multiplication
And I
tables.
did her division today.
So do you feel like the curriculum that we have now, I heard she just randomly learned division, which is really hard for me because when I'm working my curriculum, they're going step by step with each thing that we did before, building on other things. So just jumping to multiplication and jumping to division and she's here, she's there, she's everywhere, I'm just scared that I'm gonna leave something out.
Right, but remember,
like, how do I know that I'm not gonna leave something out and then she's gonna be confused and we're not gonna be able to go forward?
But at this age, it's pretty basic what you're doing. Add, subtract, multiply, divide, and then doing different things with adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing.
You know what though? I honestly think that with the curriculum, at least the one that I'm working with, I also feel like there's an intent to show them things in a certain way to prepare them for, say, algebra down the line. So instead of just, so instead of just teaching them how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, sometimes they're learning different methods and tricks that are not very straightforward, that are kind of conceptual and kind of confusing, because when I look at it immediately I see, oh, this is algebra, why are we doing this now? You know, but you know, it's kind of like roundabout, and sometimes I don't really know where the author of the curriculum is going. I'm confused, and then I tend to pass on that confusion to the kids, because I saw that with you. That's why you're like, I'm bad.
Let's remember though, all of what you're doing in math, and from till you get to geometry, right, is adding, subtraction, multiplying, dividing, and then you learn about shapes. Geometrical shapes.
You also do convert. We did a lot of metric systems, learning all the metrics conversion. But
multiply.
But the question that I get a lot in math that I hate getting is, okay, so does that mean I add? So should I multiply now? Should I divide now? Because it makes me feel like they don't know what adding means. They don't know what the multiplying means. They don't know what the dividing means. That's why they're asking me that. That means they're not really getting it. So they need to know more of the concept behind it. But you're saying just add, subtract, multiply, divide, just follow the steps. That's what you're saying.
Wait. Let's clarify. All that you're doing, all that you said is basically arithmetic. Right, at this point, even algebra is adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Right, that's all algebra is for the most part.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
Wait.
I think no. You guys, am I wrong? Like, if I give you a sheet, a problem sheet to do, and all the adding and subtracting and multiplying is just written out. It just says 354 plus 45 you'll know what to do. If it says 450 divided by 17, and that's how it's written on the paper, you'll know what to do. But if I give you a word problem, Jackie goes into the store and she sees a dress that costs $50, but the dress is 17% off. How much does she have to pay for the dress? Now when you have to think about what all those numbers mean and how to use multiplication, addition, subtraction, and division to get your answer in a word problem, now we're having problems.
So, but there's a solution for it. Remember I told you, in college I learned that doing math is by exercise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I learned calculus by doing so calculus is all these different ways to get a derivative, right? In different formulas. I figured out how to work those problems by doing problems. So you learn word problems by doing them. So the first word problem you see, you're not gonna know how to do it. You show the teacher, you show the student. Or in this case, teacher, parent. You show your child, this is how you do it. And you see it, and if they're quick, they can follow on that quickly. They might not. So you do another one. You do another one. If you do it over and over, eventually they'll see it because it's a pattern. Once they get used to doing word problems, then you show them new ones. They'll take you less time because it's like anything. It's training. It's like riding a bike, literally.
Right. And I think the weakness that I see in a lot of curriculum is that maybe there'll be 4 word problems.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's not enough word problems. It's 4 word problems, and then I don't know how many hours go by in the day until the next time you do math again. And sometimes for some kids, that amount of time, it's like they're being introduced to it all over again, and then the struggle becomes real. And then at the end of the unit, all in all, there weren't enough math word problems for them to get the concept. And then it's time for the review, and they still, it's just not enough practice. And if you're a busy homeschooling parent, you have to do the extra work of going to generate more practice for them, either rewriting new problems for them by changing the numbers around, or going on some kind of website and generating your own worksheets. And I feel like it's kind of tragic that we can't just have curriculum that's already written with enough practice, and you can just choose how much practice you want.
It's Singapore math were good for math problems, word problems, because they just had a lot of them. I mean, you can get caught up in trying to replicate how they introduce models and feel like you have to solve the models, but you don't have to. You can just take the word problem. But this is for the early ages. But
wait a minute. Wouldn't you say that you would have to understand it really well yourself to be able to?
Listen, and a person looking at you don't understand math. You understand?
You'd be surprised.
No, listen, you understand.
Like I have wasted lots of time trying to learn models and because I didn't know how else to break it down to the kids to understand.